Okay, welcome everybody. My name is Michael Camo. I am Director of Content for T3 Live, and I'm with my favorite person in the world here, Scott Redler. And today we have a little bit of a change of pace because we are going to talk about a fun topic. We are going to talk about the parallels between sports and trading, because this is something Scott and I have talked offline about quite a bit. He's talked to you about his triathlons, the marathons, how he coaches sports, his son is in sports, and we want to talk about sort of the lessons we learn from all these famous athletes like Kobe, like Tom Brady, and, many, many others. So Scott's positions really quick. Hopefully these are correct. Wink, wink at our tech team. Just making sure those are on screen. We're letting everybody come in. And if you have questions, anything, please post them in the comments. We like to make this interactive as possible. If you are watching this on Twitter, tap your screen to give us the hearts. And if you want to join Scott's Alpha Team VTF for free, go to t3live.com/show, t3live.com/show. So I want to kick things off, Scott, with a quote I saw from Kobe Bryant. I know you're a Kobe fan. And he said once, "I saw you come in and I wanted you to know that it doesn't matter how hard you work, that I'm willing to work harder than you." And Kobe was legendary for doing things like, if you were out at the club partying the night before a game, Kobe would be at your door at 5 a.m, pounding on it for you to come to practice. So Scott, is it important for you to work harder than everybody else around you?
Well, first of all, I love that quote, and I've listened to it in a lot of different platforms. Like I've told you guys a little bit about Pep Talk, which is a great app where you could listen to the most influential people out there on how they got successful and why they got successful, and then also Motiversity. So I think I've heard so many different kinds of Kobe quotes, and he's the best. Like he's the best in the business, and there's stories about him going to the game 4 hours early or 5 hours early and puts up hundreds and hundreds of shots. And, he won't leave until the person that's in the gym leaves. So this way they know that he worked harder than them. So, I don't try and put myself better than anyone else out there. I just know what I need to do for me. And I need to get up and I need to be prepared and I need to be calculated on the day. That's why I'm up at 4:30. That's why I go, see what everything's happening around the world. I look at all the news flow and I put together 30, 40 charts with all different types of thoughts on it. So I know when the market confirms it, and it's not my opinion, I could change opinion. So I need to be prepared. I need to work hard. Okay. I don't claim to be the smartest guy out there. I just try and work and be prepared so I can get all of you guys, prepared for the day. Because there's a lot of people that have opinions about a stock. Oh, this went up too much, I'm going to short it. And it goes up a lot more. Or this stock went down enough, I could buy it now. And, it just keeps going down for weeks and months. So I try and come up with a process where if you trade actively for a living, at least you don't blow yourself up and you could find great setups. And the only way to do that is being properly prepared. And that is why, just like sports, you need to be prepared for the game mentally to keep it, in front of you and slow down. You need to be able to know what's happening, why it's happening, and maybe how it will continue to happen. And you do that with preparation. So I try and pride myself on preparation, and the only way you can do that is if you have the proper routine and habits. Otherwise, you're not gonna be able to do it every day and every week.
Okay. So do you ever think of other traders as competition?
No, not at all. I want as many traders to do well as possible. I want them to have their own risk, their own plan, their own process, but have one. You can't just fly off the seat of your pants and think you're going to make money consistently if you're trying to make a living at it. There are a lot of, gentlemen out there or kids out there or whoever wants to be a trader in their 25s and 30s that don't make it because they think they could guess. They don't think they need to be prepared, and they just friggin' say, I'm going to do this because someone else is doing this. So I try and teach everyone the why things move, how things move, and how to, embrace it or approach it so then they could use their own approach to make money consistently. So if they can make a living over time, they could feed their family and have a nice life. Being a trader, if you're a successful trader, you can have a nice life. You might not be a billionaire or 100 millionaire, if you're, you got to be maybe a hedge fund manager for that. But as far as, trading for a living, it can happen if you get up early enough and you work You keep your brain sane. You keep yourself happy, because you got to be happy in life. You only live once. But if you think it's a get rich quick scheme, or it's so glamorous, and it's not going to happen. You could have some success for a little bit, but then you're going to be wiped out, like so many people have been wiped out over the course of the past 25 years if things go wrong.
Okay, so it's clear that you don't think of this as a zero-sum game, and there is room for everybody, or at least a lot of people, to succeed. But let's talk a little bit just about volume of work, because Kobe also said that by the time he was in the NBA, he was 5 to 6 years ahead of everybody, because when he was in high school, he was practicing 3 times a day, 7 days a week. So he was just basically doubling or tripling the workload of everybody else. So how much does volume matter?
Yeah, right there. You just said it was mechanics, a numbers game. 3 times a day, right? Times 7 days a week. So how many times is he in the gym? A lot. So if someone's only in the gym 3 times a week for an hour and a half a day, who's going to be more prepared, and who's going to have better skills, and who's going to be ready to roll when it's game time? The one that's in 3 times a day, 7 days a week, 4 weeks out of the month. So he I remember that video also. Like, he basically advanced his learning curve by so much more because of his work ethic, not because of his talent, not because of his height, not because of who he is, because of his work ethic. So as a trader, the more prepared you are, obviously sometimes you don't have too many things to look at, because then you don't execute on 1 or 2 of them. But the more prepared you are, the more confidence you have to execute on your plan. So yes, you need volume. Not everyone is going to, get up at 4:30 in the morning like I am, but not everyone is a chief strategic officer of a firm that has, 200,000 Twitter followers that could use a little bit of guidance, or, hundreds of people on the alpha team, or thousands of people on the node. So I feel like I'm accountable to them. So I want to be as responsible as possible to make sure I put them in a position to make money and, live their life in a way that's responsible, that could last. No flashes in the pan here. We don't do that. I'm not swinging for home runs. I like singles and doubles, and maybe every now and then, hey, you're in the right position, that's going the right way, like an SMCI today, or an AVGO today, or a NVIDIA a week ago, or an AMD, or even recently Apple. Like, we're trying to put things together so people can make a living and do it in a way that they could do it for a long time, not just for little time periods when things are hot. Because when they're not, you got to get out of the way, and you got to be smart.
Okay. Scott, I just want to show a nice comment we got from Nikki. Nikki says 100% Scott's one of the reasons I stuck with trading, and also am able to do this for a living. Thank you, Nikki. We absolutely appreciate it.
Nice. Cheers to you. It's my one Friday beverage.
Okay, I have.
What do you have?
I have
coffee?
this. I don't have a beverage. I have an empty cup here, unfortunately. So I am breaking the rules, because you are supposed to have a drink here. Okay, so one of the guys that Kobe learned from, obviously, I think you can all guess, is Michael Jordan. So I want to talk about, like, Scott, the kind of expectations you hold for yourself every day, because Jordan said you must expect great things of yourself before you can do them. So what does Scott Redler expect of himself?
I don't need to be great. I just need to be consistent. I don't need to be better than another trader out there. I just need to make the right choices, with the right decisions, in the right conditions. That's what I try and preach out there. It's just like, hey, right decision in the right condition, and you could net money, and you could have it add up and make money month and quarter. I'm like, but if I'm irresponsible and I mess up, people are losing money, and that might take food off their table. So I take that very seriously. So do I want to be great, or be considered great? I'm not that narcissistic. Yes, I have the red dog reversal, or this and that. I have some things, just for fun. Like, I like to have fun also. There's a difference between having fun and being irresponsible. I want to be as responsible as possible, because I want to make sure that everyone, can provide the life that they want. I'm not managing their money. I'm giving them a template on doing it themselves, and I'm trying to give them some confidence so that they can execute. That's what I'm here for, to breed confidence with the right plan. So one day I'm not here, they could do it on their own also. And as far as just, everyone out there who claims to be, a guru, or the next best thing, or they're going to make you rich in a week or two, just doesn't happen. I've been doing this now for 25 years. I enjoy myself. I probably could make even more money if I wanted to, but you know what I'd rather do? I'd rather go watch my son play a varsity basketball game as a freshman. I'd rather go hang out with some friends. I'd rather, talk to people and teach them versus being in front of my screen every day. I'm trying to find the balance for longevity, not the greatness. Hopefully one day maybe I'll be viewed as one of the great ones, but it's not my priority.
Okay, so since we're on the topic of Kobe and Jordan, I think I have a different take on both of them than most people, because it seems like both of them were very much driven by negative energy. Like they played their best when they were angry at somebody on another team disrespected them, or they wanted to show or they were beating up on their teammates for not doing enough. So are you ever fueled by negativity, as in I want to show somebody up, or I want to prove somebody wrong?
Not really. I can see why. There are always haters out there. Listen, there are haters out there, and I try and teach my community and my son, not to be haters, not to, appreciate what people have and realize why they, how they got there and how they did that, and how you need to do that to get there. So, I don't know, if people, are wishing that I not succeed, because most people are wishing that I succeed, because if I succeed, they're in my community and around me, they'll succeed. So it's a win-win across the board. It's not like I'm eating their lunch, they're eating my lunch. It's no, hey, let's have a meal together and friggin', toast a few glasses and have some fun, but do it responsibly. That's what I like to do. So as far as, a chip, I'm not that talented. I just work hard. The ones that are so talented and so awesome early, maybe some people root against them because they're insecure about what they're doing. So I'm not insecure about what I'm doing. I know my process. I've been doing this for a long time. I know I can help people, whether you want to, be on the alpha team, or you want to be in Red Roll Access, or you just want to tune into the 630 Club, or you just want to, be on Twitter, whatever it is with me. That's cool. You do what's good for you. I'm going to do what's good for me, and I'm going to try and make progress. I don't need to be perfect, just progress, because progress is what fuels happiness. It's not perfection. You try and be perfect. There's no one out there that's perfect. But if you do things responsibly, and you don't hold yourself accountable, then you could hurt people. And that's the last thing that I want to do.
Okay, we have a nice comment here from Jim in the UK. He said, I started watching Scott in lockdown at 11:30 a.m. in my summer house in UK. It's a lonely sport, and catching the 630 Club is good company and some great pointers. Cheers, Red Dog. So yes, we have people from all around the world. And again, don't be afraid to say hello in the comments. So Scott, you just talked about progress and making progress as a trader. How do you measure progress? Is it just your P&L? Is it how you're feeling, your confidence? How are you measuring that progress?
Hold on one second. Today's a very unique day, Michael. Just going to let you know, I'm sure some of you.
Yeah, I think many of us noticed today has been a rather unusual day in the Scott Redler multiverse.
Yes, just to catch people up. Why I have a lot of things going on. I try and call out some things, just for whether I think for the greater good or not the greater good, but mostly for the greater good. And I do remember during the pandemic, that's when the 630 Club started. The pandemic started at the 630 Club because people were scared. They didn't know what was going to happen. Right? I've been trading since 1997. Literally, I traded through the NASDAQ bubble bursting in the year 2000 to 5000. I traded through the financial crisis. I've been on the networks literally, once a week or so without a publicist, without paying for it, just because I'm consistent and I try and give my, pragmatic approach. So, in 2021, listen, Portnoy came on to the markets, and he was a lot of fun, Davey Day Trader. And I give him a lot of credit. And I think Barstool Sports is awesome. My son loves it. Betting on sports could get you in trouble, by the way, which got me in trouble in my 20s, and I did never bet a sport since. But I like that fun. I like to bet sports. I like to rant and rave with all my buddies and have a great time. But, the stock market to me is not for that. It's a way that I make a living so I could feed my family and have a nice life. So when, he came in, there was a big bull run and stocks don't go down. And, some people did pretty well, because you could have done well in anything. And then once the ARK and the small caps and the market hit its peak in 2021, things started to just falter and things started to break levels from 400 to 200 to 210 back to 150, and there was no process, no plan. And although he, guy's 100 millionaire plus, and I get it, and that's awesome. Congratulations, you built an empire. There are not a lot of people that built an empire out there. They're working to make ends meet, to make 2,000 or 4,000 a month so they could pay their bills as a young trader. Or then as an older trader, maybe you got to make 10, 15, 20,000 a month, or whatever your nut is. And just a lot of people got hurt without a process. You can't just catch a falling knife. You need to be able to have a reason why you're in things, and then know why you get out of it. And it's not easy. So, I don't know exactly when he left, but he left and he did a lot of the things with Penn. Like, congratulations. So, yesterday, he came back to the stock market. The S&P's at all-time highs, the Q's are all-time highs. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? I'm like, just let this guy, do what he does. A lot of people kind of get, they get a little glasses on, glimmer and, glamour and glimmer, or glitzing, and I just feel like you could make money a few different times, but if you're just doing it to do it, and then it doesn't work, and you have no way to, get yourself out of it. I know, that's not the way I go about my business. A lot of people blow up. So I just basically said, I just tried to put a warning out there saying, hey, you know what? It's a lot of fun, betting sports and having fun and going to games and having parties, but stock market could be enjoyable if you're making money and having success, but it's really a hard game. I don't call it a game, or it's not, it's not gambling. People are like, oh, you gamble for them. I don't gamble. I put a lot of work in to make calculated scenarios and have a process to engage it so I can make money and make a living, which is what all you guys do. So, when I saw him come back, I was just like, oh, really? I'm like, just realize, he was good for a few months, and then he just rode things down. And if you rode things down, you could have blown yourself up, which a lot of people did. So just be careful. Don't do it again. You want to bet sports. Listen, Michigan was a great bet. I know a lot of people that went to Michigan and bet on Michigan. I love Michigan, and he's a Michigan guy. And I love the fact that he spoke up for anti-Semitism. These are great things. But, with great things, you have to have great responsibilities. So all of a sudden coming out with these plays that some work, some don't work, and people can either make money, or if they're late, they blow up. I just think that it's irresponsible, and it's going to be hard for people to follow, and people get hurt. I don't want to see people get hurt. And, that's why I tweeted to him and said, with this, saying, hey, guys, probably not the one you want to follow for the long term. It's fun, and obviously, he's not pushing the keys for you, but I could see why you think it's cool. And the stock market's not cool. The stock market is a way to generate wealth over the long term, putting monthly flows away when you have a job. Stock market can make you a career with a process and a plan with hard work. It's not a get rich quick scheme, and it's not about gambling, here and there. You work hard for your money. So I want to make sure you keep it and maybe grow it.
Yeah, I think people
Twitter's going nuts.
Yeah, I think people should remember with Portnoy, this is a guy who's he can joke about the stock market because if you're worth $400 or $500 million, you could screw around and lose $5 million in the market and not feel anything. But if you're out there, if you have $5,000 in the bank, like putting 100% of your money in some stock just because he's talking about it, like you better think twice. And so we have a bunch of nice comments from here. Jay says 630 Club is awesome. Michael B says traded prop with T3, excellent group of traders. Scott has taught me so much. You helped put some food on my table plenty of times. Beer Guy says I thought the call out was fair. KOR Capital, Redler is the man, great trader who keeps it real. Mark says awesome work. Scott steady as she goes, his best policies. Been with you since RAA was a free newsletter. RAA was a free newsletter. I've been with T3 for like 6,000 years. I didn't know that.
John Darcy started actually. John Darcy, who actually works with Scaramucci at the fund now. We started it because what happened was I used to write a newsletter, and I used to fax it over to all the other offices with a price point sheet, just so we all were prepared, all the different offices way back in the day. And then he's like, hey, I'm sure if people don't trade for T3, maybe they trade for somewhere else. They could get value added there. So all of a sudden we put together a newsletter. He would take my price point sheet and send it out, and we wound up getting tens of thousands of people who read it. And then we charge a small fee because obviously with a lot of employees, you got to keep the lights on. And somebody like, Red Dog, you're such a great trader. Why do you charge for anything? I'm like, what if you're a great master chef? What do you just cook for your wife, for your son? You have a restaurant. You get paid for a great service and people enjoy themselves. So there was a way that I could, scale what I do so everyone else could have success. And that's why we do it, and I trade. The only way I really make money and make progress is if I make money quarterly and get those paychecks. Yes, I'm the chief strategic officer, founding partner. So I do have more than, just making money trading. But the hat of my trading is really my key hat, which makes everything else successful. So with that said, I don't manage money, right? So he said something to the fact, you're going to give him all your money, you're going to lose it. It shows you how much due diligence he does. He doesn't. It's just, sex and sizzle. I'm not sex and sizzle. I'm the red dog. It took a lot to, like we talked about sports, to do 2 Ironman. That's 7 days a week. That's 430 workouts. That's 7 hours a day. I raised over $100,000 for charity. Yes, it wasn't giving millions of dollars out of the pandemic, but that's what I could do. I try and lead by example, and I try and, act in a way where I want people to, act towards me. That's how I act towards them. So with that said, if I'm going to get some backlash for trying to be a little bit responsible and just say, hey, probably not the best idea just to do whatever he does, which I say to guys on my thing all the time. Like, you can't just buy things that show up on the Alpha team or the VTF. You need to figure out and learn why I'm doing it. So this way you could you could do your sizing, you could take your profits, you could look at what you're getting out of it. It's all a learning process. I don't want everyone to be like me or follow me. I want them to learn a process so they can be themselves and make progress, not perfection, and provide a family for their lives.
Yeah,
provide a family, provide a living.
Yeah, I will just add a little bit from behind the scenes that Scott and T3 leave a lot of money on the table by not going crazy, making insane promises. Like, I'm sure you guys have seen the ads where it's, it's my AI stock newsletter with 100% win rate. Like, we could go down that road, but we haven't. So we actually leave money on the table.
I get, to be honest, I get a lot of pushback for doing the 630 Club. It's like I said, since 2020, I've been doing a 20-minute video where, I try and tell it like it is. I don't like sugarcoat it. I try and say what I'm looking at, how I'm going to make money, my best play, and I give how I'm going about my day, my week, my month. And there's some people in T3 like, you're giving out too much for free. I'm like, you know what? I'm trying to help the greater good. And if they can make money watching the 630 Club for 20 minutes or get something out of it, chances are if they want to trade for a living, they're going to get a lot more watching, being on the Alpha team, spending the entire day with me, or at least all of the morning, or rather all access. So I do what I can in order to make sure that, people can mimic it. Same way when I show pictures of, starting my son in basketball and lacrosse when he was in kindergarten, because if you have a child, I'm like, start them early, right? Start them early, spend time with them. And then maybe if they take to it and that's what's really inside them, you're getting them a head start. Same with the 529 plan. I started when Chase was 5. I wish I started it when he was 1. I'd have a lot more money there. So I tell people, it might suck a little bit to put money away every single month starting when your child's 1 or 2, but you'll be in a better position when he has to go to college. Same way to max out a 401k. So I'm just trying to show you guys from some mistakes that I made and teach you things that I've learned. And yes, I'm pretty successful. I live in Short Hills. I have a nice house. I do. Like, a lot of people like, Red Dog, you're in the ice barrel in the sauna, and everyone could have a personal sauna in their house. Who do you think you are? I'm like, I'm not trying to be showy. I always went to the gym. I went to Equinox, and I know what makes me tick. And what makes me tick is fitness. And when the pandemic happened, we couldn't go to a gym. I bought a Peloton bike and I got a sauna, and I stopped paying $300 a month to Equinox. So I still don't, I'm still not a member of a gym. And now I have a, little personal gym in my house, and it works for me. Maybe it doesn't work for you in that capacity, but something. So I'm not trying to be showy. I'm just trying to show you that things could be done. I'm trying to show you the things that worked for me. I'm not a billionaire. I don't work for a huge hedge fund. I'm not worth $100 million. I'm worth a decent amount of money, and I try and enjoy myself. I'd rather lose a little money not trading the clothes to go watch my son down the road, be a freshman varsity basketball player and support him. So you pick and choose your battles. And if you're up early enough and you're prepared enough, you could pick and choose the right battles without, throwing darts against the wall. That's not what I do here. I don't throw darts against the wall.
Okay, we're getting a lot of great comments. So today, interesting. YouTube is dominating with the comments today. Twitter is a little quiet. YouTube is dominating today. So our friend Trump Course is watching this from Europe. Cobblestone started to trade for a living, was tuning in for the last 6 months. Scott harps on on trading with a system and a clear head. Beer Guy, 630 Club is best way to start the day. Michael B says, great point. Public engagement builds trust with people. Lots of people scared to enter the trading world for fear of scams. Giving away a little like 630 Club builds a customer base. Okay, so let's talk a little bit because this goes right into our next idea from our good friend Tom Brady. So Tom said, not everybody loves Tom Brady or the Patriots. I'm a fan personally. So if you're a quarterback, you want everything on your shoulders. You want to be the one to make the decision. Now, Scott, you in a way, because we're talking thousands of people around the world between the 630 Club, the newsletters, the trading room. You are the quarterback for a lot of people. Like when we really think about it, it's going out to like people with billions and billions of dollars. And then if we count institutions, it's even more. So every single day you are affecting how all this money is transacted. So does that excite you? Does it weird you out when you think about it? How do you feel about that?
I try not to think about it. I try and just do what I do. Listen, there are people that bought NVIDIA 2 weeks ago and probably made $20 million, $50 million. There are some people that, might have made a few $1,000s. Like, I don't know who's using my content, what they're doing. I'm just trying to put the right stuff out there. Same way I'll say it to this. How about again, I'm going to say it to Chase, my son, when he's taking a foul shot, I'm like, it's the same distance if you're taking a foul shot in the playground, if you took it in second grade, if you took it in your elementary school, or you're taking it, in the NBA finals. A foul shot's a foul shot. So it's in your head. Okay. How are you going to, compartmentalize the situation? Okay. And the only way you could do that is by thinking clearly and being relevant in there and in the moment. So for me, I'm just trying to put the right stuff out there. And I'm not competing with other traders. Listen, you want to buy 505 in NVIDIA? Be my guest. That's the breakout point. It's now 590. You want to buy, 357 or whatever that was in, what was it in SMCI today? It was 357. I don't remember. I remember these little numbers. I can't remember the day to take out the garbage. But, so I'm just putting it out there. And I could sleep at night when I know that I'm doing it responsibly prepared. I'm not putting people in a position that I don't think is going to win, or I'm not doing things that I feel like, well, I get upset at myself. I get upset with myself. I'm like, that trade didn't work, or maybe we shouldn't have went over that. So I am as hard on myself as I think anyone is, or maybe harder on myself, because I want to, like you said, all these people are doing these type of things. Like I have 40 things usually on my note, and I might trade 5 or 6 of them, and 20 of them work, where I might trade the wrong 5 or 6 of them. And, so it's a heady business. It's heady overall. So that is why I show this whole sauna ice barrel thing is not a shtick. It's what I've been doing since I turned 50. Okay, I've been doing it for now 16 months. It makes me feel good. I get in, I sweat out 3 pounds of water in the morning. I go in my ice barrel. I think about my positions. I think about the day. It makes me feel good. I've been doing this kind of thing since doing the Ironman. I did the Ironman twice, going to Russian bathhouses and soaking myself in ice. And now all of a sudden, I didn't make a dime off this. I'm not, an influencer for ice barrels. People are like, hey, what sauna did you use, or what ice barrel do you have? I'm like, Google it. I'm like, I'm not here to say, hey, go buy this sauna for $7,000. I'm getting $1,000. No, it's just something that works for me that I think could work for you if you kind of, if that's the way you tick. So with all these people that are watching and involved, you know what? I'm scalable, right? You could take what I do and do whatever it is for yourself. Whether you want to get the right approach to Apple to make alpha, if you're $1 billion fund, or if you're, an investor, or whether you need to trade it like, yesterday Apple had a big gap up and boom, you could have bought versus that gap and got paid yesterday, looked for a day 2 today and got paid today and taken it. So whatever it is to you, you make it to be. And as long as I know that I'm putting my best foot forward, I'm not really stressed out. I think that, it's in a high percentage play to win. It's not just a flash in the pan.
Okay, and guys, if you are watching on your phone like this, tap the screen. Give us those hearts.
Hey,
tap the screen. There's Scott. We're getting a little Tap
I want to say something about this pep talk. I want to say something else about
Kobe.
Kobe.
Scott. Well, just before that,
right.
We need to pay respect to our friend Itz. So Itz is the number one member of our community. So It's has priority. I'm sorry, but it's is our number one. He has priority above even Scott. So yeah, Scott, it's time for the pep talk. You need to pump us up.
What do you mean? I thought I just did that. There's no
No,
pep
no,
talk.
I thought you were coming into another pep talk.
No, listen.
Okay.
I'm not here for that. Hopefully you've enjoyed some of these setups that we've had over the last week or two. You didn't focus on the news. You didn't focus on the geopolitical mess that's happening, in Israel and Gaza. You didn't focus on what's happening in the Red Sea. You didn't focus on, maybe in Taiwan. You focused on the charts, the process, the routine, and you drowned out the noise. If you did that, yeah, it's success. Listen, there were a lot of outsized moves that you don't need to take the whole move to make money, right? You need to net money and you need to let it add up and you need to make a living. That's what we do here. Swing singles and doubles, and hey, maybe every now and then, you still throw to get a home run. But the bottom line is, there's no pep talks here. Just follow your process, follow your plan, have a routine, like it. Otherwise, you're not going to do it. And this could work on multiple time frames. And I appreciate all of you guys that helped me today. Again, I wasn't like trying to like poke the beast. Like I'm getting phone calls from everyone. Well, I was just like, hey, maybe take to some consideration of what you're doing on your day trading service, because there's a lot of people that follow you, and there's a lot of people that made money and then lost 3 times that amount, and then you ditched them. I'm not here to ditch you. I'm never going to ditch you. I'm 51. I'd say I got a good 9 to 21 years left, and then I'm probably still going to write a note and trade in some capacity. But I'm going to be here, thick and thick and thin. By the way, I had to see a speech pathologist when I was a kid. I had to do that. Anyway, so between thick or thin, I'm going to try and be here, and I'm never going to hide under my desk, and I'm not going to get louder when I'm wrong. Those that get louder when they're wrong have people lose more money. You know what? I'd just rather say I'm wrong and move on and find the next setup and say, hey, that wasn't fun. Let's find the next setup that's calculated that could make us money and put us in a position to, win / get a check in a month or a quarter.
Okay, guys, let's get those questions pumping in the comments. Before that, before we answer some questions, quick commercial break. You can join Scott's Alpha Team VTF next week for free. T3live.com/show. T3live.com/show. You get 5 rooms of trading room access. There's a big focus on the open, so if you want to make money in the morning, this is the place to be. You see Scott's buys and sells live. So yes, Scott is trading live without a safety net. So if he's buying NVIDIA, if he's selling Tesla, whatever it is, you see it live. And plus Scott's going to be hosting Q&A sessions throughout the week. Again, T3live.com/show. T3live.com/show. So we're getting some more nice comments in here. See, Richard says you always conduct yourself to a very high standard, which is refreshing. Also says freshman varsity. Congratulations.
That makes me the most happiest. He's been working since he's in 3rd grade. I like to see, and finally got his chance. He waited. He was quiet. Wasn't upset. He was scoring 25, 30 points on JV, and was a swing player, getting the guys water. He was getting them water with a smile, and now he's scoring 12 to 15 points a game. Knock on wood, and let's see how it goes. Yeah, hold on.
Okay.
My phone's blowing up still. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I had a lunch meeting, and I couldn't even hang out and talk to them. I was like, anyway.
Excuse us for interrupting,
Sorry,
Mr. Big Shot. Okay, so we're gonna run through some questions.
Should we do some charts? Can I put a few charts up real quick?
Answer one question first. I'll make you a deal. You answer one question, you can show the charts. We have this debate all the time. Okay, so Scott, why don't you put volume on your charts? Somebody asked.
It's a good question. I probably could, and I just, listen. I'll to Jake. Jake from Trend Spider, who has his own service now. He talks about the different volume shelves and all this kind of stuff, and I probably should have it there. I know when volume's coming in for a breakout. I know when things are trading more than 100, 200, 300% volume in the first hour to get me looking there. But, I'm more of a price point, feel, relative strength, relative weakness. And I actually have an alpha team that has a lot of specific things they're great at, and they tell me what's going on, with whether or not something's breaking out on volume, or whether something traded excessive volume in the first, hour, or we're seeing call sweepers with excessive strikes. So I kind of have like my own think tank with the alpha team and Red All Access, and even Twitter, but I can't have, if I had everything on the chart, it would be too damn noisy. I'd rather do my price points. I'd rather have my moving averages, and then, come up with the plan. So with that said, I just want to show some charts, and show where some things are at. So, a lot of people are talking about SMCI today. So I know I got to give props to the inner circle. The inner circle caught that really well. I've listed this chart multiple times, and hold on, I'm going to share the screen right now. Share screen. Here we go. Share. So, do you guys see SMCI?
Yep. It's on the screen.
You see how clean that breakout is? 357, double top, gap. You had to grab it fast. Listen, if you were buying options on this pullback because you thought, hey, NVIDIA's breaking out, AMD's breaking out, the semis are strong, you got paid by thinking about something that could have happened. And then PS, boom, if you mechanically bought at 357, you're talking 425. Okay, look at Avago, AVGO, also something that on Twitter 3 different times I'm like, this could play catch up. NVIDIA continues above 553 towards 600. I'm sure this one is something that you can get involved in. Okay, it got above all the moving averages right here, had a gap up yesterday. Even if you didn't play it for this noise, closing the highs, boom. Okay, that followed along. But what was the first one that went? I remember the first video that Mike and I did together. I was talking about NVIDIA before any leaders really broke out. And some people would bash me, like, you're such an active bull. What's the matter with you? I'm like, well, the market's not really acting well, and NVIDIA is above the 821 day. NVIDIA gets above 505. You got to be in tier 2 or tier 3. So if you look here at NVIDIA, and it's been very tradable, okay, here it was, 499, 504, 505. In order to get to 591, first step is get above 505. And that was a beautiful setup, clean. Hit 553, which was the first measured move, and now it's on its way to the 600, 620 next measured move. Why is that the measured move? Well, you say about 400 to 505, that's about 105 points. So that's 610. That's simple terms of a measured move. But if NVIDIA is going to keep going and AMD is going to keep going, there are other stocks that should have played along, and SMCI played some catch up, okay, and so did AVGO. You could have played it any which way you wanted. As far as mega cap tech, right? Microsoft, 2 weeks ago, I was like, this is my biggest concentration, which happened right here. Concentration on Twitter, Google, Red Dog T3, Microsoft. You'll see this was your spot. And yesterday it closed really strong. It wasn't this what didn't have power like the semis, but I was in it and I bought more, and there you are at a new all-time high. Congratulations, Microsoft. Congratulations, investors who've been in it for a decade. I remember when they called it, money goes to die in Microsoft. And congratulations if you're an active trader that was waiting for this to happen. So yesterday or last week at this time, I'm like, call me crazy. I think Apple fills the gap. You could buy some options. Apple did not look good early this week. So some kept their options, some didn't. Yesterday, finally, Apple had a gap and go. So if you look here on Apple, which I love when Apple's in play, they used to call me the Apple trader. Okay, Apple right here, 185.84. I was buying it pre-market. I was not long Apple stock. And then I started buying it. I bought a dip all day, bought back the moving averages, and boom, here we go. We filled the gap. So pro earnings gap. This wasn't an earnings. It was just a pro. It was a pro analyst upgrade gap, but people were waiting for it. So anyway, with that said, nice catch-up move. I'm trying to stay with it. Google this morning, I'm like, Google has a nice setup. It's got to get above 145. Or that's look at that, 145.21. Nice little move. Held the 21 day. I have options, and do I have stock? I do have stock. Anyway, nice move. What do I think could happen next week? I think Amazon plays along. So I connect the dots from preparation, from feel, from seat time, from everything that I need to do in order to make myself hopefully have some execution / success. And again, progress, not perfection. So I post 40 charts to Red All Access on the private Twitter sphere to to the alpha team, and I try and do like 4 or 5 to to the public, and I've been doing it every day since it's been evolved. However, it's been evolved since 1997. I'm consistent, and what you see is what you get. I probably could be worth a lot more if maybe I put more emphasis on charging for everything or being around 1,000% of the time. But again, I'm here because I think I have my balance, and my balance is doing things that I like to do, whether it's youth sports that I was a coach for from 2nd grade till 8th grade, being a marathon coach. Someone on Twitter from Portland Rice Crowd is like, I don't even think you did the Ironman. I'm like, I didn't do the Ironman. I did 2 Ironman. I also did the New York City Marathon with the American Cancer Society, raised a lot of money to qualify for the Boston Marathon. So there's crazy people out there. Not saying I'm not one of the crazy ones. I might be a little crazy going in my spiral twice yesterday when it was 18 degrees, but that's just part of the mantra where, whatever the conditions, you got to go. Okay. My mind in the morning was like, hey, maybe you should go at lunchtime. It's too cold this morning. And then my other thing said, hey, I said I'm going to do it every day in the morning, no matter the conditions, as long as I can take my hammer and ice pick. It was a promise I made to myself. The only way you're going to make progress is you keep the promises you make to yourself, not to others. Yeah, you want to keep promises to others, but if the way you build self-esteem and just inner strength is you put something to, first of all, you put it to the universe, but if you put it to yourself, you got to follow it. If you don't follow promises you make to yourself, you're gonna be scattered, and you're not gonna trust yourself, and you're gonna second guess everything, and you're never gonna execute with confidence, and there's no way you're gonna make it as a trader.
Okay, so Scott, I think we should challenge the audience a little bit. Type in the comments, what promise are you making to yourself? Like, what are you going to do every day for the next week? I will do 25 dip. I will do 25 dips a day for the next week.
You are?
Yeah. Yeah. I have a dip station in my bedroom, and I do it almost every day. But yeah, I will do dips, 25 dips.
Okay, something funny? So Chase is calling me right now, my son, and he wants to know if him and his friends can go in the ice barrel. Let's hear. He doesn't know we're on here. Hold on. Chase, what's up?
Oh, I was texting you about if we go in the cold plunge, if we all watch each other.
How many of you guys are there?
It's just me, Chase. It's the original wolf pack.
Just so you guys know, there's ice on the floor. It's the coldest it's ever been. You might.
I did mine this morning. Yeah, Holden did at 6 a.m. I did it before school this morning with no heat before. He said it was fine.
Really? Holden, how long have you did your ice barrel for?
I did 2 minutes and like 15 seconds.
My question is how long, how many days, months have you had your ice barrel?
What did you say? How many days? Oh, how many days have you been doing it for?
No, how many days? You just got a new ice barrel. Why'd you get an ice barrel?
Because I wanted to do that. I wanted to do it for recovery and good for your mental state.
How old are you?
I'm 15.
All right, right now I'm doing a webinar. You guys are live right now. My boys, freshmen, Holden's got his own ice barrel. They're home. They're not friggin' playing Nintendo. They're saying, hey, I know you're not home. Can I go in the ice barrel? Because that's something that they want to do. And they've been doing it. Okay, and they're getting performance.
It was a little freezing this morning, boy.
It was a little freezing. I was cold too. My fingers were numb. My 2 toes were friggin' almost ready to fall off. But I did it. Let's go. So I don't think it's a great idea at 3:16 for you guys to go in the ice barrel, but it's snowing out. Are you going to go in the hot tub also?
Yeah, we're going to do hot tub ice barrel.
All right, just, make sure the hot tub's 102. And just be careful, guys. It's friggin' slippery out there. Small steps. It's cold. Make sure that it's all chiseled up.
I definitely. We will speak about other things later.
All right, later, guys.
Okay, so we should all be honest. Scott just gave us live ice barrel coaching, live on YouTube and Twitter. Gino says, Red Dog, fantastic dad. Okay, so Scott, so some of the promises we're getting from our audience. Dave is going to honor his stops. Fernando is going to trade his plan. Gino is going to wake up at 4 a.m. every day and follow his plan. He's going to do his nightly prep with exercises. Jay's going to do curls and push-ups every day. Gino, burpees. Cobblestone, he's going to honor his intuitions. Our friend Monica's just giving us an emoji. And
By the way,
Jay says,
Monica goes in the ice barrel.
does she?
She does. All the time on the Alpha team, she talks about her ice barrel.
Interesting. I didn't know that. I did cold showers for a while, but I didn't really get anything out
Oh,
of
do
it.
you do push-ups with your dips, Michael?
Um, I used to do a lot of push-ups, but I feel like, at least for me, the dips are it's just such a better workout.
No, dips are great, but you should do the push-ups first, and then dips are after. Dips are more
Well,
important. I mean, push-ups are more important than dips.
well,
They're both
I
good. As long as you do
well,
something, it's fine.
yeah, well, my favorite way to work out with that is doing as many dips as I could, and then immediately doing as many push-ups as I can, and then when I can't do any push-ups on my knees, as many as I can, and then like a few sets of that, and like I'm done. But like the strength gains with dips, I find like way better than push-ups.
All right, there you go.
Yeah,
Everyone's got their own shtick.
yeah. Monica's telling us ice barrel so much easier than cold shower shards. NP Trading says Scott's the man. So Scott, I think time for us to let you go. Do you have any final words for our friends out here?
Listen, I want to thank you for tuning in, and I want to thank you for a lot of you guys sticking up for me. You know, just because I do try and just put some things out there and say some things that people don't say. You know, and I am a small public figure, not a big one like many guys out there, and I kind of, even in politics, I get yelled at sometimes by, you know, my other founding partners, but I'm a moderate in the middle. I try and be a moderate in the middle with common sense. I don't agree with the far left usually. I don't agree with the far right. I try and have like a common sense approach that most people that I would get along with do. I do like kick-ass guys that friggin' want to be on the top of their game. I love individuals that, you know, want to have fun and test their limits. I love individuals that also are accountability to themselves and try and lead by example. But you know, it's sometimes not easy at times. And today, you know, I saw freaking Davey Day Trader come back. I'm like, is he really coming back after what happened for that year? And, you know, so I went out there, and then all of a sudden the guy posts some fictitious picture of me saying I'm going to lose all their money. I'm not a money manager. I'm not a stockbroker. Everyone pays the same amount of money for a monthly subscription, whether you have $100,000 or $1 billion, or you just tune into the 630 Club of my public. I'm not doing anything. I'm not promising you going to turn $3,000 to $300,000 like the bots on Twitter. I'm just showing you that this is what I do, and I'm having success, and I'm actually really, you know, I'm enjoying myself and trying to, you know, work through some bad times to enjoy some good times. And if I can help people do that, that's what I'm here to do. And hopefully I've done that for you. And, you know, you've shown that by, you know, showing the love on Twitter, you know, when you get some people who are just haters or attackers or whatever. You know, I'm not here to attack anyone. I just want responsibility. People who are responsible and take accountability for their actions. And I try and do that as well. And if I'm wrong, I'll admit it. If I'm right, I try not to toot my own horn a little bit, but every now and then you have to a little bit just to show that it can be done. So it's a lot of things that can be done, but you got to try them out and have success first. And the only way you're going to do that is by being prepared and have your process and routine that you love to do, so you can do it every day, so it's successful over time. And we'll see what happens this weekend. Oh, I lost you.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Guys, again, you can join Scott's Alpha Team VTF next week. It's Netflix earnings, it's Tesla earnings. Going to be a lot of fun. T3live.com/show. T3live.com/show. And we're going to close out, Scott, with a comment from It's. It's is back. It says making memories and making money.
That was the two that you made that AI. Michael, my boy, started making these AIs for me to make it just a little bit more fun, which I do like to make it more fun responsibly, whether it's a bull and a bear in a sauna, a bull and a bear in an ice barrel. So I said to him, I think my mantra for 2024 is making money and making memories. And if you know, you don't make any memories, the money means nothing. So that we sent that out in the first week, and It's, you're the man. You remember, you know, that's what it was, and you know, that's good. And I believe in it. You know, make memories before money, because money's can't go with you wherever you're going to go. And who knows if you're going up or you're going down. But again, money helps. But in order to get it, you have to appreciate it, work hard for it. And you don't want to flounder it or give it away by, you know, by following the glamour and glitz and being irresponsible, which is why I made a stand today.
Okay. All right. Scott, thank you again. I think this was our funnest show ever. I hope everybody will be back again 2:30 p.m. Eastern time next Friday. Who knows what kind of trouble Scott, actually, we might not be live next weekend because Scott is the open house, but who knows what kind of trouble we will make in the next week. So stay tuned, especially on YouTube, because it seems like we're picking up a lot of steam on YouTube right now. So if you're on YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you again in the future. Everybody have an amazing weekend. All you SMCI and video longs, great job. Bye, guys.
Hey, guys. Thanks for tuning in.